The call came just after sunset. Casual words that detonated my world. "We're moving in Friday," my brother said, his voice light, as if he were announcing dinner plans. Story. For a moment, I thought I'd misheard him. I was sitting in my Nashville office, surrounded by marketing reports, sipping cold coffee. "Moving in where?" I asked, my pulse already quickening. "Your beach house," Tyler replied. "Mom said you barely use it anyway. Jenna and I need a place for a while." She already gave us the code. My blood ran cold. My beach house, the one I'd spent years saving for, working 70-hour weeks, skipping vacations, saying no to everything so I could afford it. My sanctuary. "Tyler, nobody asked me about this," I managed to say, my voice trembling. "That house is mine. I own it." He laughed. Actually laughed. "Come on, Susie, don't be like that. It's just temporary. Family helps family, right?" I hung up without another word, my hands shaking. Within seconds, I had the home security app open. Cameras, alarms, sensors. Everything was armed. Everything was mine. At 29, I'd clawed my way from nothing to something. Starting in marketing fresh out of college, I'd worked until my face hurt from smiling through exhaustion. Every cent had gone into investments. And finally, the beach house in Wilmington, North Carolina. Not a rental, not a status symbol, but mine. My phone buzzed again. "Mom, Susie," she began before I could speak. "Tyler told me you're upset. I don't understand why you're making such a big deal about this. He's your brother. He needs help. He needs to ask me first," I said sharply. "It's my house, Mom, not yours to give away." "Don't be selfish," she snapped, the familiar tone slicing through me like glass. "You have so much and Tyler's struggling. You're hardly ever there anyway." The words hit like old bruises. This was how it always went. Tyler needed help. I provided. Mom justified it. End of story. "Well," she continued, "it's too late now. I already gave him the code. They're packing as we speak." "Mom," I whispered, "if he shows up there, I'm calling the police." "You wouldn't dare," she hissed. "He's your brother. What kind of person threatens family with police?" "The kind who's tired of being walked over," I said, and hung up. For a long moment, I just sat there, surrounded by the evidence of the life I'd built. Framed awards, glossy campaign posters, the faint hum of the office lights. And I realized something terrifying. They didn't see me as a person. They saw me as a resource. I opened the security app again and changed every access code. Then I enabled trespass protocol. If anyone entered without authorization, the system would sound an alarm, record everything, and notify local police. Minutes later, my phone buzzed again. Tyler. "What the hell, Susie?" "The code doesn't work." "That's because I changed it." "Why would you do that? We're already on the road. U-Haul's packed." "Then you should turn around." "I never gave you permission." "Mom said..." "Mom doesn't own the house, Tyler. I do." There was silence. Then his voice hardened. "You're being ridiculous. We're coming anyway." The call ended. I stared at the screen, the glow reflecting in my trembling hands. Of course they were coming, because in my family, no had never meant no exit. Curiosity hook. I watched the security feed flicker to life, calm, still, empty. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't stay that way for long. The house was still, silent under the camera's green glow, but the silence felt temporary, like the air before a thunderstorm. Story. All through Wednesday, I couldn't concentrate. I kept glancing at my phone, refreshing the security app, waiting for the inevitable motion alert. Nothing. No calls. No messages. That was the worst part, the quiet. It always came right before my family tried to bulldoze through another boundary. By Thursday morning, I still hadn't heard from them. I tried calling Tyler, straight to voicemail. Tried Mom, same thing. They were freezing me out, pretending silence was power. It was an old tactic, but one that used to work. When I was younger, silence meant I'd done something wrong. Now I knew better. It meant they were plotting their next move. I was halfway through my morning coffee when my phone rang. An unknown number. Hello? Susie? A soft, unfamiliar voice. It's Jenna. Tyler's girlfriend. I stiffened. Hi, Jenna, what's going on? I wanted to talk to you about this house thing. Her tone trembled. Tyler told me what's happening, and I didn't know he hadn't asked you first. My grip tightened on the phone. You didn't? No, she said quickly. He told me you offered the beach house while we looked for an apartment. Said you were happy to help out. But then when the code didn't work, he admitted you never agreed. Relief and anger hit me all at once, the kind that makes your hands shake. He lied, I said. Of course he did. I believe you, she said softly. I told him we should drop it, but he won't. He keeps saying you'll come around. Your mom's backing him up. They're planning to show up tomorrow. The air around me seemed to contract. If they do, the police will be called automatically, I said flatly. I have a trespass alert system. Silence. Then Jenna whispered, Seriously? Seriously. There was another pause, then a sigh. Okay, I'll try to stop him. But he's angry, Susie. Really angry. He says you've always acted like you're better than him. I laughed bitterly. I worked for what I have. He's had the same opportunities. I know, she said. But he's not listening anymore. I just wanted to warn you. When the call ended, I sat there staring out my window at the gray Nashville sky. A drizzle had started, soft, steady, relentless, the kind that seeps into everything. My whole body felt tight with dread. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept checking the security app every hour, half expecting to see headlights in the driveway. But the cameras stayed calm, the screens black and still. Friday morning came cold and overcast. I called in sick. I couldn't focus on work knowing what was coming. For hours, nothing happened. Then, just before noon, my phone lit up, a cascade of alerts. Motion detected. Front entrance breach. Trespass alarm activated. My heart slammed against my ribs. I opened the live feed. Tyler's truck sat in the driveway. Mom stood beside him, shielding her ears from the blaring alarm. Jenna was there too, looking small and miserable. 2 other people, friends maybe, were unloading boxes from a U-Haul. I could see Tyler yelling into his phone, his face red with fury. The automated system blared over him. Warning. Unauthorized entry detected. Police have been notified, my phone rang. Turn off the alarm, Tyler shouted. No, I said. You're trespassing. Mom gave us permission. She doesn't own the house, I do. Leave now or deal with the police. Through the camera, I watched Mom pound on the locked door, her face twisted in anger. Then Tyler bent down, picked up a rock, weighed it in his hand. Tyler, don't, I said into the phone, my voice flat, cold. If you break that window, it becomes a felony. He hesitated, then dropped the rock. Sirens wailed in the distance. The police were on their way. Exit, Curiosity Hook. As blue lights flashed across the sand, I knew this wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. It was war, and this time, I wasn't backing down. Sirens split the quiet Wilmington air, painting the driveway in red and blue. Through the camera feed, I watched everything unravel. My family reduced to trespassers on my own property. Story. 2 police cruisers pulled up beside the U-Haul. Officers stepped out, hands resting on their belts, the picture of calm authority. I could see Mom talking rapidly, gesturing wildly toward the locked door. Tyler stood beside her, jaw clenched, anger radiating off him in waves. Jenna hung back, arms folded, her expression tight with shame. Minutes later, my phone rang. "This is Officer Davidson with Wilmington Police," a measured voice said. "Are you Susie, the homeowner?" "Yes," I breathed. "That's my property, and those people don't have permission to be there." "Understood. Can you confirm ownership? I can send the deed." "No need," he said. "I've already verified through county records." A pause. "Would you like to press charges for trespassing?" The question landed like a punch. I looked at the glowing monitor, at my brother's defiant posture, my mother's fury. If I said yes, I knew what it meant. There would be no forgiveness. No going back? "Yes," I said finally, my voice steady. "I want to press charges against all of them." On screen, Officer Davidson relayed the message. Mom's face went from red to ghost white. Tyler started shouting, pointing at the camera, realizing I was watching. One of his friends argued with the officers and was escorted off the property. Then Mom walked right up to the camera, staring straight into the lens. Her voice carried perfectly through the system's mic. "Susie," she said, trembling with rage, "if you do this, you're dead to me. You hear me? You're not my daughter anymore." The words should have shattered me. Maybe they would have once. But all I felt was exhaustion. The deep, bone-tired kind that comes from years of being blamed for saying no. "She's making her choice," Tyler muttered, stepping beside her. "Let her live with it." The officers handed them citations, told them to leave. I watched as they reloaded the boxes into the U-Haul, every motion tight and bitter. It took nearly an hour. When they finally drove away, the driveway looked untouched, almost peaceful, like nothing had ever happened. But something had. Something irreversible. Mom had disowned me on camera. Tyler had crossed the line from entitled to hostile. And for the first time in my life, I hadn't flinched. My phone buzzed again. "Unknown number." Against my better judgment, I answered. "You actually did it," Jenna said quietly. "You called the police on your own family." "They committed a crime," I said. "I gave them every chance to stop." "Tyler's furious. He says he's going to sue you. Your mom's saying you've broken her heart." "Maybe she should have thought of that before breaking into my home." Jenna sighed. "He's telling everyone you're vindictive, that you flaunt your money while he struggles." "Then let him struggle," I said, my voice like glass. "I've carried them long enough." After she hung up, I scrolled through my notifications, social media, text messages, missed calls. My name was already spreading through family circles like wildfire. Tyler had posted a self-pitying rant about his heartless sister, who called the cops on her struggling family. Dozens of comments. Family should come first. How could she do that to her own mother? Only one person defended me. My cousin Maya. "There are two sides to every story," she wrote. "Maybe ask why before judging." I wanted to thank her, but I didn't. Not yet. I just closed the app and stared at my reflection in the darkened screen. My hands were trembling, but my resolve was solid. For years I'd let guilt run my life. That day, guilt lost exit, curiosity hook. But deep down, I knew my family, and I knew this wasn't the end. If anything, they were just getting started. Peace lasted only a few days. Then the email arrived, polite font, professional tone, and pure venom underneath. Story. Subject. Property dispute and defamation. It was from my mother's lawyer. I read it once, then twice, trying to make sense of it. She was claiming I'd verbally agreed to let Tyler stay at the beach house, that she'd acted in good faith, and that I'd humiliated them by filing false police reports. The damages she was seeking? $75,000 for defamation and emotional distress. For a long time, I just stared at the screen, my pulse echoing in my ears. She was suing me. My own mother was suing me. I forwarded the email to Patricia, my real estate attorney, with a shaky note. Please call me as soon as possible. When she did, her voice was crisp, grounded. Susie, this is garbage. She has no case. You have security footage, texts, recorded calls, everything. This is a slap suit. She's trying to intimidate you into folding. Can she actually take me to court? She can file, yes. Doesn't mean she'll win, but even a frivolous case costs money to defend. She might be counting on that. How much? 10 to 30,000 in legal fees if it drags out. 30,000. To defend myself against a lie. Against my own family. Send her a response, I said finally. Tell her if she proceeds, I'll countersue for harassment and fees. Patricia hesitated. That'll escalate it. She escalated the second she filed that letter. After the call, I sat in my office shaking with rage and grief. It was like every childhood nightmare had come true at once. They weren't just invading my space now. They were trying to destroy me piece by piece. My phone buzzed. Tyler. You got Mom sued now too? Do you have any idea what lawyer fees cost? I typed back, she sued me. Tell her to drop it before she regrets it. Seconds later, you're pathetic. Threatening your own mother. I blocked him. Then Mom. Then every relative who'd sent a hateful message. When I finished, my contact list looked like a bombed-out city. An hour later, Janet appeared at my office door. Hey, there's someone here to see you. Says she's your cousin, Maya. I blinked. Maya's here? Yeah. Should I tell her you're busy? I hesitated, then shook my head. No, let her in. Maya stepped in. Short red hair, leather jacket, tired eyes. She looked like someone who'd stopped trying to impress anyone years ago. Hey, she said softly. Sorry for just showing up. I tried calling, but your phone's on lockdown. I've been blocking people, I admitted. Good, she said simply, sitting down. You're getting slaughtered in the family chat. But I wanted you to know. I don't believe their version, I blinked. You don't? I know Tyler. He did the same thing to me 3 years ago. Borrowed my car for a day, kept it for 6 weeks, racked up tickets, then told everyone I was cruel for asking him to pay for the damage. My stomach twisted. I never knew that. Of course not. We all stopped talking about the truth because it wasn't worth the war. For the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of something other than fear. Validation. Maya leaned forward. You did the right thing, Susie. It doesn't feel like it right now, but you did. Tears stung my eyes. Mom's suing me? Maya's expression hardened. That tracks. She can't control you anymore, so she's punishing you. She's winning, I whispered. I feel like the worst person alive. That's what they want, Maya said. They need you to feel guilty so you'll cave. Don't give them that satisfaction. That night, I opened my laptop and started compiling everything. Every bank transfer, every guilt trip, every just this once that had drained my savings and my peace. 10 years of enabling, written down in cold black text. Over $42,000 given away to help them. Every penny of proof that this wasn't love. It was control, and for the first time I could see it clearly. The email war wasn't the end. It was the opening act. They couldn't control me anymore, so they tried to destroy me instead. Story. It started with anonymous complaints at work. HR said they'd received concerns that I'd been misusing company time and harassing relatives during work hours. I sat frozen in the conference room as a man from corporate read from a printed report. The complaints were detailed, he said. Mentions of calls made from your office line. I stared at him. You think I'm calling my family to threaten them from work? He hesitated. Can you prove otherwise? Yes, I said. Check the logs. And while you're at it, I'll show you the harassment I've received from them. For 30 minutes, I walked them through everything. Security footage, lawsuit letters, recorded calls. By the end, the HR man's tone had shifted. Miss Susie, he said, you're the victim here. These claims are malicious. Melanie, my regional director, added, if they contact you again, report it immediately. You're protected here. But the message was clear that my family had tried to get me fired. I drove home shaking, fury and heartbreak colliding inside me like thunder. Then came the final straw, Tyler showing up at my workplace. He looked hollow, desperate. We need to talk, he pleaded in the lobby. No, I said, keeping my voice level. You need to leave. He stepped closer. You think you're better than me because you have money? You'll regret this. Security intervened, escorting him out as I filmed everything on my phone. When he reached the parking lot, he turned, face twisted with rage. This isn't over. That video became evidence in court. At the restraining order hearing, I faced them both. Mom in her floral dress, tears flowing on cue. Tyler, stiff and silent beside her. The judge, a sharp-eyed woman named Morrison, listened to every word. I presented the timeline, the calls, the footage, the lawsuit, the harassment, the workplace ambush. Then the recordings played, Mom's voice saying, "You're dead to me," Tyler's threat in the lobby, "You'll regret this." When the audio stopped, the courtroom was silent. Mom's lawyer tried to twist it. "She's our client's daughter, Your Honor. This is a family misunderstanding." Judge Morrison leaned forward. "No, this is a pattern of harassment and intimidation." The gavel came down like a final heartbeat. "The restraining orders are granted," she said. "Both respondents are prohibited from contact, physical or digital, for 2 years. The defamation suit is dismissed as frivolous." Mom gasped. Tyler's face went crimson. I just exhaled, slow, shaking, but free. Afterward, Patricia smiled. "That's a full win. You can breathe now." But as I left the courthouse, I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow, stripped of something I'd spent my life chasing. Family approval. That night, alone on my couch, I realized I didn't need it anymore. Relief began to settle in. Quiet, heavy, healing. Months passed. Mom dropped her lawsuit and paid my legal fees. Tyler was charged for harassment and false police reports, probation, fines, and a permanent mark on his record. For once, consequences existed. I got promoted to senior director at work, built new friendships, and even started therapy. Dr. Karen helped me untangle decades of guilt. "You were trained to equate boundaries with cruelty," she said. "But guilt isn't morality. It's control." She was right. The guilt faded, replaced by something stronger. Peace. A year later, I sold the beach house. Not out of pain, but power. I used the profit to buy a cabin in the mountains, a quiet place untouched by old ghosts. There, with my rescue dog at my feet, I painted sunsets and learned what silence felt like when it wasn't filled with dread. Sometimes I still watch the security footage from that day. Mom's fury, Tyler's defiance, the flashing police lights, and I don't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. Because I finally understood, love without respect isn't love at all. And some bridges once burned deserve to stay that way.